Here are 10 scary psychological truths about humans that you were never supposed to know. Number 1, there's a part of your mind that lies to you. Every single day, it distorts your memories, manipulates your thoughts, and hides truths about yourself that you may never want to confront. These are not theories. These are facts backed by psychology and buried deep inside the human brain. Let's uncover them. No. 1. The Mandela Effect. Do you remember Pikachu having a black tip on its tail, or the Monopoly man wearing a monocle? If you said yes, you've just experienced the Mandela Effect. Named after South African President Nelson Mandela, who died in 2013, the Mandela Effect describes a phenomenon where large groups of people share a false memory of a past event or detail. It's named after people who vividly remember him dying in prison in the 1980s, when in reality he was released and lived until 2013. But this isn't just a one-off case. Ask anyone about the spelling of the word aluminum or the Berenstain Bears, and you'll find many who confidently misspell the word or recall the name as something else. What's happening here is a reconstruction of reality. Human memory is fallible and malleable. What we remember is colored by our beliefs, expectations, and the information we've been exposed to since the event in question. The Mandela Effect demonstrates that our brains don't store memories like a computer stores files. Instead, they mold and reshape them over time, leading to inaccuracies that can feel just as real as the original experience. No. 2. Love in 4 minutes. According to research conducted by Dr. Helen Fisher, an anthropologist at Rutgers University, it only takes 4 minutes for 2 strangers to fall in love. During her experiments, she observed how quickly couples in love became deeply infatuated with each other. She noticed that eye contact played a crucial role in this process, suggesting that gazing into someone's eyes might be a key trigger in falling head over heels. Now, let's step into a simulated scenario. Imagine walking into a crowded party. Amidst the chatter and laughter, you lock eyes with someone across the room. As you walk towards them, your heart beats faster. Within minutes, you're engaged in a captivating conversation, sharing stories and dreams. By the end of the evening, you've exchanged numbers and promised to stay in touch. Looking back, you realize it all happened in a blur, a whirlwind of connection that left you questioning how you could have fallen so fast. Well, that's not a figment of your imagination. It's science in action. In a controlled experiment, Dr. Fisher found that the initial spark of romantic love could occur within just 4 minutes of meeting someone. This speedy infatuation is driven by the powerful cocktail of hormones released by your body, including dopamine, the neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward. As you maintain eye contact with that special someone, your heart rate syncs with theirs, increasing feelings of intimacy and vulnerability. This accelerated timeline highlights the potent mix of biology and psychology that drives human relationships. So the next time you find yourself falling for someone quickly, remember, you're not alone. It might just be your brain and heart doing what they do best. No. 3. Phantom limb pain. Imagine waking up in the morning, reaching out to touch your face, but instead feeling nothing. You look down to find your hand is no longer attached to your arm. Confused and frightened, you realize what has happened. Your arm has been amputated during the night. But as the day goes on, the confusion turns into panic. You can feel your phantom limb moving. You see it twitching under the blanket. You try to grab objects with it, but when it fails to materialize, you start crying out in pain. Despite the missing limb, you can feel its presence keenly. What's happening to you is not a hallucination. It's a medical condition called phantom limb syndrome, which affects 80% of amputees. For these individuals, the nerves that once connected to the lost limb continue sending signals to the brain, creating sensations that feel incredibly real. The brain tries to make sense of these signals, constructing a reality where the limb still exists. Phantom limb pain arises from the brain's attempt to map the missing body part. It's a testament to the brain's complexity and its remarkable ability to adapt, even when faced with drastic physical changes. Now, 4. Emotions greater than facts. How many times have you entered a room and forgotten why? Or picked up a phone only to stare blankly at it without any recollection of making a call? You recognize the faces of your childhood friends, but can't quite place their names. These moments of mental fog aren't just frustrating, they're a reflection of a deeper truth about the human mind. Our brains don't function like computers that store and retrieve information. Instead, they prioritize what's important for our survival, assigning more importance to emotions than facts. In psychology, this is called the affective memory bias. It means that memories tied to strong emotions, like fear, joy, or sadness, are more easily remembered than neutral or factual information. Imagine this. You're sitting in a quiet room studying for an exam. You read through pages of dense text, taking notes on dates, names, and formulas. Hours pass and suddenly you're jolted back to the present by a loud noise. In the moment that follows, you find yourself recounting the details of the commotion, but struggle to recall the information you have been studying. This isn't a reflection of your intelligence or comprehension. It's the affective memory bias in action. Your brain has prioritized the emotionally charged event, making it more readily available in your memory, while the seemingly insignificant facts fade into the background. No. 5. Dunning-Kruger Effect. Have you ever encountered someone who confidently shares an opinion that's clearly wrong? Perhaps you've been corrected by someone younger or less experienced. Or maybe you've witnessed online debates where facts are distorted by individual biases. If you've had these experiences, you've probably wondered, how can someone be so sure they're wrong? This apparent contradiction is explained by the Dunning-Kruger Effect, a cognitive bias named after social psychologists Daniel Gilbert and Douglas Kruger. They observed that people with limited ability often overestimate their knowledge, while those with high ability tend to underestimate it. In other words, the more you know, the more you realize you don't know. To understand this phenomenon, imagine a bell curve representing intelligence or ability. Those who are average or below average will cluster around the middle of the curve. Because they lack advanced cognitive tools, they often fall prey to confirmation bias, seeking out information that confirms their existing beliefs. This creates an echo chamber that reinforces their misconceptions, leading to a false sense of confidence. On the other end of the spectrum, those with high ability or intelligence are less susceptible to this bias. Instead, they're more likely to encounter new information that challenges their perspectives. As they incorporate this information into their understanding of the world, they realize just how much they don't know. This constant exposure to complexities and nuances makes them feel like a small fish in a big pond, even though they're very capable. The Dunning-Kruger effect reveals a fascinating aspect of human nature. Our desire to feel smart often blinds us to our own ignorance. No. 6. Lonely people stay up late. In the quiet hours of the night, when the rest of the world is asleep, lonely people find themselves wide awake. It's not just insomnia keeping them up. It's a silent struggle to cope with feelings of isolation, disconnection, and longing for companionship. But why do lonely people stay up late? Is it a coincidence or a deliberate choice? The answer lies in a deeper understanding of human psychology. One theory suggests that loneliness can evoke a heightened state of hypervigilance. This means that lonely individuals are more attuned to potential sources of connection. In the quiet of the night, they become acutely aware of the absence of companionship, prompting them to seek solace in artificial sources of connection, such as social media or online platforms. By staying up late, they increase their chances of encountering others who might offer companionship, however temporary. Another explanation lies in the emotional toll of loneliness. Loneliness can trigger a range of complex emotions, from sadness and despair to anger and resentment. These emotions can be overwhelming and exhausting, leading to sleep disturbances. For some, staying up late becomes a way to escape or distract oneself from the emotional turmoil. It offers a temporary reprieve, a chance to focus on anything other than the aching void of solitude. Number 7, truth when hungry. Ever noticed how people seem more truthful when they haven't eaten? It's not just a product of imagination. Research shows that hunger can significantly impact a person's behavior, particularly their honesty. A study published in the Journal of Consumer Psychology revealed that hungry individuals are more likely to engage in deceptive behavior, such as lying about the quality of a product to obtain a discount. On the other hand, when participants were given food before the experiment, they were less likely to engage in such behavior. So why does hunger play this curious role in honesty? The answer lies in the way hunger affects our cognitive processes. When we're hungry, our brain's primary focus shifts to acquiring nourishment. Our thoughts revolve around food, making it difficult to concentrate on anything else. This limited cognitive capacity makes it harder for us to fabricate lies, requiring less effort to detect them. In essence, hunger turns up the volume on honesty, making it easier to spot when someone is being truthful. No. 8. Your brain can't tell fantasy from reality. Have you ever had a vivid dream that felt so real you woke up believing you'd experienced it in real life? Or perhaps you've watched a movie that was so immersive you couldn't shake the feeling that the characters were real. These experiences are not just figments of your imagination. They're examples of a fascinating phenomenon that highlights the incredible power of your brain. Your brain reacts to vivid imagination almost the same way it reacts to real events. The line between memory and imagination is thinner than you think. Your brain can't distinguish between a made-up scenario and a real-life event, responding in the same way to both. For instance, a nightmare can wake you up in a panic, or thinking about a painful breakup can bring tears to your eyes. This is because your brain doesn't differentiate between fantasy and reality. It processes both scenarios in a similar manner, triggering the same emotional and physiological responses. So that intense feeling you get while daydreaming or watching a movie, it's not just a simulation. It's your brain coming alive, reacting to a world that's as real to it as the one you physically inhabit. No. 9. Sad music makes you feel happier. Have you ever found yourself drawn to sad music, even when you're feeling down? It might seem counterintuitive, but this tendency is rooted in psychology. Music evokes a cathartic release of emotions. Listening to sad music can validate and intensify your feelings, allowing for a healthy expression of what might otherwise be bottled up. This emotional release can lead to a sense of relief and even happiness. Furthermore, sad music can create a sense of connection and shared experience. When you relate to the lyrics and understand the emotions being conveyed, it can make you feel less alone in your struggles. Music transcends time and connects us to others who have experienced similar emotions. So the next time you feel melancholic and find solace in sad music, know that you're not alone. Your reaction is a natural human response, a testament to the therapeutic power of music. 10 first impressions are almost permanent. You meet someone for the first time. In the first 7 seconds, you silently judge them based on their appearance, tone, and demeanor. This judgment influences how you interact with them, shaping the relationship you have. Even if new information contradicts your initial impression, you tend to ignore it, sticking to your original assessment. Why does this happen? The answer lies in the workings of your brain and the concept of confirmation bias. Your brain quickly processes visual and auditory cues, forming an instant judgment about the person you've just met. However, this initial assessment isn't always accurate. Confirmation bias kicks in when you selectively seek out information that confirms your pre-existing beliefs while ignoring anything that challenges them. So even if someone acts in a way that contradicts your first impression, you tend to brush it off, reinforcing your original judgment. This phenomenon highlights the limitations of human perception. Our first impressions, though seemingly instantaneous, have a lasting impact. Once formed, they resist change, even when confronted with contradictory evidence. As we come to the end of this journey, remember, you're not as logical as you think. Your memories lie. Your emotions deceive you, but that doesn't make you weak. It makes you human. These 10 truths weren't meant to scare you. They were meant to wake you up. The mind is powerful but fragile. And now you've seen just a glimpse of what it's truly capable of.